Currently here on the channel, we are working our way through every Borderlands game in the franchise, and yes, this does include Tales and New Tales. We started with 3, and then we went and backtracked to 1. Now, I haven't played Borderlands 1 in well over a decade. It has been an extremely long time, and I'm sure it's been that way for most of you. I just want to make a video about my thoughts and what I thought of Borderlands 1 as a whole, because normally we do playthroughs here as well as guides and different goofy videos about Borderlands, but I completed Borderlands 1 in 10.5 hours. And yes, I was speeding through the campaign and rushing stuff. There were times where I went off and I did a bunch of side quests, but even then I completed it in a fairly short amount of time. Now I totally understand this because this title came out in 2009 and it's a very old game. I was playing the Game of the Year Enhanced Edition. For some of you guys who don't know, the enhanced version of Borderlands 1 has a severe memory leak. So as you go to different map zones and you use the map transfer, you slowly start getting more memory leak on your PC, and the game will eventually start running really boggy. There's going to be frame drops, there's going to be stutters, and I had to basically close the game completely after roughly an hour or so and boot it back up. Now, if I wasn't transferring between zones that often, I didn't have to do this, but as you guys know, at least from my experience, Borderlands 1 is kind of like a driving simulator. Now, I will say the physics with the driving and overall it was fantastic, and you know, guys, I want to get this out of the way. I am not dogging this game at all. It came out in 2009. Totally understand that. It was the start of a franchise, a beautiful start, I must say. Character building was great, and it was an older title. Totally understandable. But the biggest thing for me is the quality of life changes and things that we've seen from Borderlands 2, the pre-sequel, and now onto Borderlands 3, and who knows what they're going to bring to the table when it comes to Borderlands 4. It was extremely difficult for me to enjoy Borderlands 1. I think it has a really bad scaling issue. Every enemy is above your level, and I know games, that's how games work. You know, they're above your level so you can get XP and are a little bit harder to kill. But for some reason, they were extremely difficult to kill at times. Like, it was like a slog, like bullet sponge galore. It was insane. And you know, part of it may be because I didn't do side quests and didn't level up, but at the end of the day, even if I was matching their level or tried to, like if I went to a zone and there was a guy level 29 and I was level 25, I'm like, okay, I really need to boost up my level and get XP. I did a bunch of side quests. I got to level 29. What do you know? When I went back to him, he's level 35 now, and I'm like, what the heck is this scaling? What's going on? It's insane. So it made the game pretty difficult at times where I was like, oh my gosh, these fights are taking me 5-10 minutes to kill 3 dudes. Now, I played as Mordecai. You guys on the channel, you guys recommended him. You know, we did a poll. Mordecai won by a landslide, so we did Mordecai. I had an absolute blast using him. I love sniping in games, and it was just fun overall, and it was a good experience. And I think for the beginning of the franchise, you know, the start of this beautiful franchise that we know and love, at the beginning, I don't think Borderlands was actually gonna be a looter shooter. It didn't seem like it. You know, now coming back to the game with a fresh mind, a new mindset, understanding how Borderlands is, I don't think the original concept of Borderlands was gonna be like this looter shooter, you know, open world, so much guns, so much gear, build up your character. Sure, there was a skill tree and there were weapons, you know, different kind of weapons, but I think originally it wasn't the plan, and it kind of went this route to become a looter shooter, which I think is great. I think they've done a fantastic job with the progression of the title and how it's all going and everything. But at the end of the day, if you haven't played any of the Borderlands titles, or if you have, I highly recommend you going back to the beginning with Borderlands 1 before the launch of 4 and just play through all of them. You know, like I said, we currently went through 1. I was going to make playthroughs, but I beat it in 10.5 hours, so I just wanted to make this video. We're going to do a more in-depth playthrough, guides, and all these other things in Borderlands 2. I also found a lot of glitches and funny moments in Borderlands 1, so I'll probably make a video on that, but I highly recommend, whether you've played it before, whether you know everything, go back to the title, go back to the early days of Borderlands and really like soak it in of how this franchise started, because it's pretty amazing to see this game come from, you know, Borderlands 1 all the way up to what it is today and what they've achieved and done and how they have elevated this franchise and elevated, you know, the looter shooter genre overall. They did a fantastic job, I think. Like, they hold by far the top place. These guys are like platinum or diamond, you know, 2K and Gearbox. They hold hold the top place when it comes to this style of game. Looter shooter, open world, crazy builds, guns everywhere, insane effects on the screen, you know, just like, you know, super fun boss mechanics and fights, different type of enemies, you know, even the driving in these titles are fantastic. But I do recommend you going back to the first one and really seeing the originality of all these characters like Tannis, like Lilith, you know, Claptrap, and see how they evolved over time, you know. And part of this evolution was due to the player base, you know, like in Borderlands 1 there was so many Claptraps. They're everywhere. You don't encounter one Claptrap, you encounter like 20-30 of them throughout the story. There's even a room that you go into and there's a ton of them all over the ground. And you know, I know there's, you know, Claptrap units everywhere in Borderlands 3, but he evolved as a character due to, you know, the progression of the story, as well as, you know, us the players enjoying the character. You know, like if you don't enjoy the character, the next title, they're not gonna put the character in the game. Think of Ava. What is gonna happen to her in Borderlands 4? We don't know. I think she's gonna be grown up. Maybe she's gonna have a different mentality. She's gonna mature more. They can't just kill her off. You know, Lilith gave her sanctuary. How is it gonna be where she's just gonna disappear? She's gonna fall off the face of the earth. It's like Ava ran away. So who owns sanctuary now? Actually, they could do that. They could actually do that. Ava ran away and now sanctuary is owned by Ellie. Ellie owns sanctuary and now it's not a flying ship. It's a freaking badass car from like Mad Max, you know, kind of like the massive one in the desert zone. I can't even think of the name. Why can't I think of the name? The hell. But overall, I just think, you know, go back to Borderlands 1. It was a blast to play, you know, to see again these new characters for the first time, meeting Tannis, meeting Lilith, meeting all these characters, Marcus, whatever it may be, Dr. Zed and his vending machine. It was awesome to see these characters for the first time, you know, imagined for the first time in a franchise. But I will tell you guys, it changed the pace. You know, gunfights are slower. There's a lot of driving. Fast travel is super difficult. You can't fast travel on the fly. You have to go to a new use station. So there are a lot of quality of life, which is to expect from a game in 2009. You know, it came out so many years ago. But go back to Borderlands 1, try it out, enjoy it, and get ready for Borderlands 4, because there is so much to this franchise. There's so much to this world, and the storytelling is so in-depth from all these logs you can get and everything. Like Tannis's logs in Borderlands 1, and learning who Tannis is and learning everybody, you know, all this stuff. Marcus figuring out that there's a vault for the first time and he wants to partner with you. He wants to make money. He's like, there's so much lore to these stories that it's absolutely insane. You know, I know this video is kind of a rant. I don't know if you guys enjoy this. I'm literally leaning back in my chair at my desk and I just am like, you know what? I have a lot to talk about with Borderlands 1 as well as the franchise. And I want to get it off my mind and turn it into a video, since I don't think I'm going to be making Borderlands 1 content just because of the short time we played it. So if you guys enjoy this kind of stuff, if you enjoy Borderlands, all Borderlands content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We are currently working our way, like I said, through all the titles in the franchise. We're doing playthroughs. Yes, we actually are going to do a playthrough for 2. We'll do a playthrough for pre-sequel. We're going to be doing playthroughs for the Tales as well, just to have them up there. And we'll go back to 3, either go back to our Flax main or go back to our Moes, which is what we originally started. If you haven't seen that, I have a playlist up on the channel for our Moes first time playthrough, because I've never played Moes before. But we are prepping for Borderlands 4. We are getting locked in, guys. We are grinding Borderlands out, and we're just gonna, you know, get deep dive into the lore, into the story, into every character of the game, and we're just gonna have a blast until Borderlands 4 comes out. We don't have a long ways to wait, guys. It's gonna come out a lot sooner than we think. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like on it. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys think of Borderlands 1? When's the last time you played it? Are you guys excited for 4? What is the biggest thing you would like for them to bring to the table for 4? Try to think of some unconventional stuff. Think of some unconventional stuff. Let's not talk about, oh, I hope there's farming, I hope cosmetics are out of the loot pool, you know, things like that. Let's think of some unconventional things that would be awesome if they added to Borderlands 4. I appreciate every single one of you guys, and as always, stay happy, stay hyped, and good luck looting.